Hey everyone, it's me Chase, and we are here with the VR butter churning simulator Devlog. This is the first one that I'm going to be kind of describing what progress I've made, but I'm going to be calling this number 3 just because I've got a couple other YouTubes, but this is kind of like the first one where I've kind of explaining in depth. So overall, I'm trying to build a a VR butter churning simulator, and it is supposed to be ridiculous. It's not gonna be like a legit simulator, so chill. It's also gonna be a very small mini project. The goal is that it is about I develop it for roughly a month, and then I move on to the next thing. And I'm gonna be doing that over and over and over until I get really good at making VR games, and maybe something will stick. But this is the very first game, the very first devlog of this kind of process here. So as you can see, we have just like a little house, nothing too fancy, but it's kind of pretty. I bought some really cool assets for this. Really happy with it. And yeah, so what I've got so far is I hooked up the VR Origin, which is just, if you don't know, just basically what you are in VR. So it's just like your hands, your head, your camera, stuff like that. Built the house, and then I haven't really made anything interactable just yet, besides like these two things and like this really, I don't know, sphere. Nothing's really working yet. It's just kind of bare bones, but something that I plan to do next is actually start to try to figure out how to make the butter churner churn, baby. Pretty excited. It's going to be ridiculous. And I hope to, make it into something that is ridiculous, but maybe is slightly fun. The backstory behind it is going to be between these two characters, husband and wife. The names have not been decided. My patrons are going to be the people that vote on the names. So if you're interested in supporting kind of this VR indie dream of mine, and you'd like to be able to vote on names of characters and vote on the next games that I make, join Patreon, my Patreon. It'll be in the link down below. Greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so she's going to be someone, and this is her husband, and essentially the story is going to be she's teaching you how to churn butter, but she kind of teaches you too well, and the husband kind of notices you and says, wow, you churn butter better than my wife, and that makes her jealous. And so what she's gonna do is try to find a reason to fault you, as in the butter churning is gonna get harder and harder to be a successful butter, and if you don't churn it the way she wants it, she's gonna kill you. That's gonna be the game. So I have to figure out some way of making the butter churning. First I have to define kind of what is a good churn in the butter, and then second, how do I incrementally make that harder and harder to do? But it's ridiculous, and I'm into it. So that's kind of like the story, kind of some simple progress that I've made, and I'm going to dive into VR real quick just to kind of show you around a little bit. Again, this is my very first VR application I've built, and everything like that, so pretty happy with it so far. It's been like a couple days, so alright, let's hop in. Alrighty. That's one controller. And the second controller. And so we can see that we have hands. That's pretty awesome. There's no hand animations just yet, so I can't, like, when I pull the trigger, the fingers don't necessarily close or anything. But I've got kind of the proportions and the location of the hands on the controller pretty nicely. So, as you can imagine, this is what this would look like. And the ridiculous part, is seeing someone do this, who's not in VR, that would be the funny part, is like seeing someone go like this, or just like this, and use your imagination of what that kind of looks like.
Johnny, what are you doing in here?
But yeah, we have the husband, we have the wife. If we look up, got all this. Yeah, we'll get a fire in here. We'll get some nice sounds. And again, I think my next task is to try to make these move somehow, and then from that make, some sort of point system, some sort of rhythm that you have to keep. I'm not sure just yet what the game loop will be, but something along those lines. Something I also did. You hear that? I added sound when you pick up, and I also added haptic feedback, so when I click it, the controllers vibrate. So that's really cool. Look at that. That's cool. So yeah, this is kind of the progress I've made so far. Again, if you'd like to follow this journey of me making crazy random games and actually have a part of it, join my Patreon. Also subscribe to this channel. And yeah, throw me a comment, all that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear from you. But yeah, let me take this off. Thanks again, and we'll talk later.